Ms. Covray, maybe get roll call, please.
Andrea Jordan.
Here.
Aaron Rashba.
Here.
Shaquille Ali is not present. Eileen.
Oh.
Perfect. Eileen Policarpio.
Here.
Anthony Sujisaka.
Present. All right, and then, so thank you, Ms. Covray. Now we move on to item 3, Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to invite our students from Susan B. Anthony and George Washington up to the podium, and if you could lead us in the pledge. Yes, you may come up to the podium right there.
Move it in.
So if y'all want to get up just right there and just lead us a pledge like you normally would in school.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to our students for leading us in the pledge. All right, we move on to item 4, approval of the agenda. The administration recommends the approval of the agenda. Are there any items or amendments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, and we move on to item 5A, special presentations, George Washington School highlights. Ms. Lauren Buckley, principal, and representatives from George Washington Elementary will present highlights from their science program.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting us. Tonight, we're so proud to celebrate the learning and accomplishments of our students in elementary science. Through hands-on investigations, meaningful questions, and real-world connections, our students are learning to think like scientists. They are observing, predicting, testing, and reflecting as they explore the world around them. From studying plants and animals to learning about weather forces, Earth systems, and matter, our students are building both knowledge and curiosity. Just as importantly, they are developing the skills of collaboration, problem solving, and perseverance. They're learning that science is not only about finding the right answer, but about asking thoughtful questions, learning from mistakes, and discovering new ideas. We are so proud of the excitement, creativity, and critical thinking our students bring to science each day. Their work shows that even our youngest learners can be curious investigators and powerful thinkers. I especially want to thank our teachers for their thoughtful planning as we've built our science curriculum around our new TWIG curriculum that we have now had for a couple of years. And honestly, I might have to ask for one more minute because when I originally asked teachers like what they wanted to highlight in science, literally everyone had something to say and everyone wanted to highlight something, and I didn't want to leave any of our kids out, and you can see how many GW families are here tonight to celebrate the learning. So I'm just going to quickly go through the slides because I know you've already seen them, but I just wanted to preview what our kids are learning. And then I'm going to show a great video where you'll hear lots of our student voices. And then if you have any questions, our students are really excited to share more with you about what they are learning about. So you can go to the next. Oh, I have a clicker. Awesome. Thank you. So in TK, they're exploring the life cycle of a butterfly. They're integrating that with literature and songs, their creative arts, and real-world observation. They have caterpillars, and we'll see more about that in the video. Kindergarten is learning about plants, animals, and their needs. So all the things that those plants and animals need, they could tell you all about. Even our SDC classes are doing science experiments, and in our K2 class, they're learning about weather and seasons and how water can change into ice, rain, and snow. And they also did an experiment based on St. Patrick's Day with Skittles. In first grade, they're learning about science and engineering, and on that same March theme, they were making leprechaun traps and really focusing on design and redesign. Second grade is learning about coastal habitats and marine mammals. We had a visit from the Marine Science Center who brought some live animals for us to touch at school that connected with their studies, and they will end their unit with a field trip to Half Moon Bay to see those tide pools. In third grade, they've been studying the scientific method and just really focusing on that cycle of hypothesis, engineering, constructing things, testing designs, revising, retesting, so really getting that hands-on science going. Our 3 through 5 SDC classes built a volcano, and they all got a chance to test it. Their question was, does the ratio of ingredients affect the height of the eruption? So they were looking for a big eruption of that volcano. In fourth grade, they were so excited from their science fair projects that they designed more hands-on experiments, and they were exploring motion, magnets, and energy transfer. And in fifth grade, they wanted to just highlight that culmination of elementary science learning in their trip to outdoor ed, so they have lots to share if you have questions about that. So with that said, let's see what our students learned.
And a little bit black and green. On Sunday, they're gonna fly into a chrysalis, and this one looks very big, and it looks like it's getting still now. It looks like it's going to form into a chrysalis by Saturday, but maybe these ones might form in on Sunday.
Water. What else, Tristan? Food.
Air.
Air.
Shelter.
Shelter. What else?
Sunlight.
Sunlight.
Space.
Space. That's right.
So, I learned about science, about adult animals and baby animals. And I learned about how they can change and what the grown-ups looks like. That's it. So, when science about leprechaun traps, they can be like hard to find like clover leaves and
did you guys learn about?
Oh, we learned about the beach and the ocean.
And
Ooh, the sharks. Bro, this is my turn. There's a killer whales, and there's a type of whales who live in there in the Pacific Ocean, and they go up maybe down to Mexico to have their babies because they have blubber, and they have to be more. The baby has to be more, and when they grow older, it's gonna have blubber, and
and what kind of adaptations the animals have that you learned about?
the whale has the blowhole so it can come out of the water and breathe because mammals have lungs to breathe. My favorite part about science is I like otters and I like some more stuff about Earth. Like I like otters, I like killer whales, I like a shark, and I like fish.
Isn't it?
Static electricity. And magneticity. And then we got the balloon. He like start rubbing it and then he started putting it in someone's hair and then he started coming down. Yeah, it was like really exciting. That was like fun for them. Our teacher seemed like he picked up the thing open like this and then he put a magnet in it. And then what he did was, is it possible for a tennis ball to like move? And so he grabbed some other magnets and then he used it to move it and it worked. And science learned how to use our creativity and work together. Teamwork. And also kind of teaches us how to work together. And experiment. The science fair was really fun. We liked it because there were a lot of different science projects and most of them were very interesting. A lot that a lot of chips had, and we learned that Ruffles had most, and Pringles had the least amount of. Right now in science, we're learning about forces like gravity. My favorite part about science is doing the experiments. My favorite part of science is making the graph. And my favorite part about science is making stuff.
In after ed, I learned that the sun evaporates all the water.
After ed, I learned about the drum.
My favorite thing was after it was everything, especially the night walk. The most important thing I learned in outdoor ed is to treat others how they want to be treated. The most important thing I learned in outdoor ed is to treat like any type of animal or creature as a living person or something. One thing I learned about outdoor ed that don't judge a book by its cover. They like at first when I got there, I thought everybody was just gonna be weird. I think the most important thing I learned about outdoor ed is that I learned about plants and stuff that's there. So when I see them in my life, I know what they are and I know what they do. One thing that's important, that's important to me, and then I learned from outdoor ed is that to be kind to others.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for your presentation. If there are any comments or questions from the board, I'll start on my right.
I just want to give a shout out to all the kids in the video. They did such an amazing job, and it shows that science is really entertaining, but also educational for them. And so, shout out to all of the teachers for the hard work. They are very engaged, and so keep up the good work. And I look forward to seeing more to come with the science curriculum as well as the fair that you guys did.
I very much echo those sentiments. Thank you, Principal Buckley. Thank you, teachers. Thank you to the students, families, parents who are here tonight from George Washington. I just love your program, and building on what Trustee Jordan said, I love all of the learning that you did, but it was clear that you had a great time in doing it, and making learning fun is really important part of education, and it's clear that you did that through the science program. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Buckley and the students, the parents that brought the students here, all the teachers and faculty. It was really great to see the hands-on learning that the students are engaged in, and their commitment to it, and their excitement and enthusiasm about science. So keep up the great work.
Same, I loved seeing that video, and so thank you for providing that, because we got to see the kids and hear their excitement in their own voices and see all their little personalities. And I love being able to see that because they were able to articulate what was most fun for them, and it goes from life cycle from plants, and yes, plants are living things and we should treat them as we want to be treated, all the way to the animals, and to the little boy who loves otters. I love otters too, and so him and I can talk about otters and he can tell me what he learned through that visit. But really love seeing it all the way to the top, and how in outdoor ed they were able to see things that they grew up starting with learning with the plants and seeing live animals and things like that. And so yeah, I love to see that science is meant to be fun, and I love seeing that they were able to have fun with experiments. Favorite lesson from that is, like, not everything's perfect when you first try it, and science allows you to try it, guess it, try it again, and it's okay to change things and figure things out. And that's how life is. So glad you're learning life lessons there too.
And I echo my fellow board trustees' sentiments. Well, first of all, we're going to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for presenting to us. And to thank you and our students, we have some certificates for you all. And I know there are 4 of them. We have 9 certificates, so we're probably going to say 5 names that we don't have.
They're here.
Oh, they are here. Okay, good, good. Just want to make sure. So then we will start on my left.
I have a certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and special presentation to legend Mina Villalobos.
Oh, and then now you could just say the name.
Amaya DeLeon Sawyers.
All right. Certificate for Aria Chen. And Kai Gabrielo.
Okay, I have a certificate for Jamie Isabel de Luna. And for Jaden Miranda.
And I have certificates for Itzel Garcia Martin. And for Alexander Gallo.
And I have a certificate for, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, Elitis Bursiaga.
You did it.
All right, so thank you again so much for George Washington. So you may have a seat. All right, next up, we have our 5B, Susan B. Anthony School highlights. Ms. Roxanne Hannon, principal, along with student representative from SBA Elementary School, will share highlights of the school's efforts to build meaningful community partnerships. These partnerships are expanding opportunities, resources, and experience for students and helping ensure more equitable outcomes for all learners.
All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees, District Administrators. My name is Roxanne Hannon, and I'm the principal at Susan B. Anthony Elementary School. Tonight, we're excited to share how we are partnering with organizations in our community to expand equity, access, and opportunity for our students. At SBA, we believe everything is a team effort, working in partnership with our staff, families, and the broader community. While we were not selected, unfortunately, for the Community Schools Grant last year, the process inspired us to be even more intentional in building meaningful partnerships that support our students. One partnership I'll be highlighting tonight focuses on our primary grades. Through a connection made at the Stanford Leadership Institute last summer, we are now in a partnership with the Stanford Spark Lab, which is developing performance-based assessments that measure young learners' curiosity, creativity, problem solving, and scientific thinking. These are critical skills for lifelong learning, yet they are often difficult to assess in an equitable and meaningful way. Our TK through third grade students with parent consent have been participating in this research. The goal is to ensure these assessments are valid, inclusive, and reflective of students from diverse backgrounds. We are proud to contribute to this work and look forward to using these tools to better inform our teaching and student learning. At this time, I'll turn it over to our student leaders to learn more about our other partnerships and their experiences with them.
Hello, my name is Hayden Hanford from SBA. This year we partnered with Chick-fil-A Sermonte to improve attendance during the months when it is typically lowest. Through our Perfect Attendance campaign, students earned raffle tickets each week they were present, with the chance to win a bike and helmet at each grade level. We also hosted a spirit night to celebrate our progress, where our community came together in a big way. I even had the chance to perform with my violin class. Now we will present a video.
We are now in the midst of a perfect attendance campaign that's having a really positive impact on our attendance percentage. In the first year of starting this attendance challenge with Susan B. Anthony, there was a 30% increase in attendance year over year. We have been partnering with Susan B. Anthony Elementary School for over a year now, and tonight we decided to host a spirit night in partnership to help fundraise for some of their future events. A big silver roll cow. Can we do one on three? 1, 2, 3. So honored to partner with your schools. I love that your children love Chick-fil-A so much. It's huge to have a community partner like Chick-fil-A Ceremony and Susanna specifically. It's really exciting to see these young kids that are so excited to partner with Chick-fil-A, especially when it's their favorite restaurant that they know is watching and encouraging and cheering them on. These community partnerships are so valuable, and it's showing everyone in the community that, man, it's such a win-win, and my team members are getting to see this and these young kids and how exciting it is that we can make impact so quickly.
This partnership promoted fairness by recognizing that attendance isn't just a student responsibility. Many of us rely on adult support to get to school. One example was when we were coming back from break and one of the younger students was having a hard time leaving his mom. His mom reminded him of the perfect attendance campaign and that he needed to be on time to earn his raffle tickets, and he hugged her and went right through the gate. The campaign brought our whole community together to support one another, encouraging families and students to prioritize being at school every day, on time, and ready to learn.
Hi, my name is Luna. I'm a 5th grader at SBA. We met Mia from the University of California Cooperative Extension and CalFresh through produce tastings during school lunch, and we continued working together to bring healthy foods to our community and develop our new school garden. She trained upper grade students to lead lessons for younger classes about seeds, planting, where food comes from, and the importance of fruits and vegetables. We then went into primary classrooms to teach those lessons. I led a lesson with 2nd graders and helped them plant beans in our garden. We also partnered with Mia to apply for a grant to install an automatic irrigation system so our garden can stay alive over the summer and continue to grow year after year. My favorite part of this experience has been teaching younger students new skills and seeing them excited to learn. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, I'm Amia Martinez. I'm a 5th grader and the student council president at SBA. This partnership helped make things more fair for all students by giving everyone access to healthy food, education, and hands-on gardening. Many students at our school don't have a backyard or a place to garden, so creating a school garden allowed all students to have that experience. By having student leaders teach younger students, we made learning more engaged and we made learning more engaging and helped everyone feel included. The irrigation system also helped ensure that the garden continues to grow over time, so future students can benefit from it as well. This project gave all students the opportunity to learn, participate, and connect with healthy foods in a meaningful way.
Hi, I'm Mason Torno. I'm a 4th grader at Susan B. Anthony School. 3rd and 4th graders at SBA partnered with Daily City Partnership to do a community service project. Through ethnic studies, we were learning about others, their backgrounds, and their different situations. We discussed how not everyone has the same resources. We decided to do a toy drive because it isn't fair for some kids to have toys to enjoy and for some to not have anything, and we wanted to help solve this problem. To get started, we organized ourselves into different teams: planning team, promotion team, collection team, sorting team, and inventory team. I was part of the sorting team. In 3 weeks, we collected over 133 toys.
Hi, I'm Paisley S. I'm a 3rd grader at Susan B. Anthony. I was on the promotion team, which means I had to make slides and flyers to advertise the toy drive. The promotion team was important because if we didn't get the word out, no one would know about it or donate. As a 3rd grader, I learned that equity means making sure everyone has what they need, even if that looks different for each person. Through our collaboration with Daily City Partnership, we realized that some kids don't have the same access to toys, especially during the holidays, and that's not their fault. Our toy drive was a way for us to help make things more fair. By working together to collect and give toys, we were able to bring joy to other kids and show that our community cares about everyone.
So that concludes our presentation tonight. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer those.
We'll give you a round of applause first. Again, thank you for your presentation to you and your students. And then this time we'll start on my left.
Hi, thanks for coming and thanks for speaking and giving that presentation. Love seeing how you're partnering within the community because that's that's where our business is. That's where we spend our time, where our kids are growing up. And so I love that your kids at the school are able to partner with the community to give back to the people in the community. It's like it keeps it in this nice cycle of, we help the people that we grow up with. I love that it was about December attendance, that spike to see what it was in the previous year versus what it was, and knowing that, hey, I have to get my raffle. It's okay. Like, I don't want to be late, Mom. Like, it works. My kids are little, and those tactics 100% work, and it promotes that growing up. So I love that they were able to see that the children were responding to that, and then that attendance really is hard in December with holidays and things. And so love the focus on it being those primary months of just holiday malaise or whatever it is. And so, really glad to see that, and also obviously the importance of seeing where your food comes from and having a different respect for what we're putting into our bodies and how we're doing that. It's extra hard to do nowadays with just the way that life is, with everything that we see on TV and things being so processed. So I always love to hear about how the students are able to see how their food grows and have just a newfound respect for when they are eating it, and how mindful they can be about what's going into their bodies that aren't just shaped like Pokemon. And then I will always love anything about holidays and having kids. That's a great definition of equity. Really proud of that definition that Paisley gave, and to see that the children understand that holidays are extra hard, especially for kids who may not have the same access as others, and then to be completely surrounded by toys and consumerism and seeing how much other people have just really shines a light no matter how old you are and what you might not have. So I love that the kids are noticing that and recognizing that it isn't fair, and really stepping up and doing something, and don't lose that drive to step up and do something, because it affects adults that are age too. And so as long as you continue to remember that we're all people and humans and you can always do your part, proud of all of you for being able to partner with your community to do that.
I too am proud of all of you. It was great seeing you show us and showcase your leadership skills that you've been learning. And it really touched me to hear you say that you enjoy teaching the younger students. So keep up the great community work that you're doing outside of the school and inside of the school. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a second really impressive presentation. Thank you, Principal Hannon. Thank you to the teachers, the parents, and most especially the students from SBA who are here tonight. And you just spoke so well and really articulated how great that this program is. And super impressed that you are advancing equity, opportunity, and partnership. I love that you got two of the leading universities in our community. You got some government agencies, state, local, you got private business, all rallying around to help. And I really believe that people in the community want to help, and sometimes they're just not sure how. So they need, great people like you, the students here, to say what's needed and how they can help. And I think the partnerships will happen as was shown to be the case. So thank you for your work.
I echo my fellow board trustee sentiments. I was super proud to hear about how equity and opportunity is really embedded in not just the partnerships, but it's actually teaching the kids what it looks like. It could be different for each student, and I think that's super important. A lot of people tend to misconstrue equity with fairness or equality, and it's not the same thing. So I think learning that at a young age, most people probably did not learn that, and so it's super awesome to hear that in addition to those partnerships, you're teaching the kids what that looks like. I have a question on Chick-fil-A. How did we determine that was the partnership that we wanted to do? Did they come to us? Did we go to them? Or was it the students were like, we love Chick-fil-A, we better partner with them?
So it's actually through a grandmother in our community who works at Jefferson High School and was doing some work with them there, and she recommended SBA to them. So we met a couple years ago and started really small with some literacy projects, and built from there to really focus on attendance. And we just got word today that there's going to be more funding for some different events for next year too. So we're really excited.
I wanted to say congratulations. That's awesome. That just shows that the community, I think one of my fellow board trustees said, they want to help and they care, not just from a parent, our guardian in our district, but even like once it went out, it was like, okay, yes, let's rally behind this. And so I just want to say kudos to everyone that is involved, the students, and then obviously the parents who are, I guess, honoring that their students want to do this and saying, yes, let's do it together. And so everyone in this room has a part in making our community better, and I just want to thank everyone for their efforts and service for our community.
And I echo my fellow board trustee sentiments, so thank you very much. We're going to give a round of applause, then we'll give the certificates. All right, so these certificates are for certificates of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and special presentations for Susan B. Anthony School highlights, and we'll start on my right.
And this certificate is for Luna Barajas.
And I have a certificate for Hayden Hanford.
And this certificate is for Mason Torno.
And I have a certificate for Paisley Saith.
And the certificate for President Amia Martinez. All right, again, thank you to all of our students for participating in our presentations. If you need to leave, you may, but we would like you to stay just for our next two items, if you may. This is board member acknowledgements and then superintendent comments. So if you must leave, you can, but we would like you to stay. All right, but with that, we do move to item 6A, board member acknowledgements and commendations. And I will start on my right.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here tonight. We really love a full house. We don't normally get people coming unless they're complaining, and we want people to come in and listen to what's happening in the community. Yes, it's good to come when you want to make a statement about what you don't feel is going right, but it's also good to come just in neutrality, just to find out what's going on and be a part of the community and maybe even help us make better decisions that are honestly for you all. And so number one, just thank you for showing up tonight. It's important that your presence is felt and hopefully heard if any of you are going to be speaking tonight. I also just want to say thank you to the students. I know it's been a long day. You probably got up really early and had to be at school at 8:25, and then it's, what is it, almost 8 o'clock, and you're still talking and speaking and you know, engaging with basically policies that we're making here, and obviously showing what you're doing in your schools. So kudos to you and the parents who got them up early and went to work and came here today to show your support for your children. And I look forward to the rest of the meeting.
Thank you. I know that in future meetings we'll be hearing more about the spelling bee, but I, along with Trustee Sujisaka and Trustee Policarpio, had the honor of attending and being judges at the spelling bee last week. I want to thank Fiona Hansen and I want to thank Ben Franklin for all of her hard work and the school for hosting the spelling bee. As always, I had a lot of fun and learned that there are many words I don't know how to spell. I also just want to mention that I got to participate in the Legislative Action Week that was organized by CSBA, the California School Boards Association. And we, this week, last week, got to meet with a representative from Matt Haney's office, and we got to meet with our state assembly woman, Catherine Stephanie, to talk about some legislation that CSBA is recommending to close the achievement gap, along with making the case for fully funding the school, the budget for public education. And you know, I just want to encourage all of you to advocate for public education. These are tough times with a lot of pressures on our budgets, and you know, all of your voices really do make a difference. So please contact your representatives at all levels to fight for public education. Thank you.
There's a lot we can do by ourselves, but we can do a lot more when we partner with other people. So I'd like to commend, like Trustee Roshba mentioned, Chick-fil-A, both schools, I think it was Stanford and UCSF, and the Daly City Partnership Collaborative for working with Susan B. Anthony School in that way. And then also, excuse me, during Black History Month at George Washington School, we had a lot of community support as well. So I wanted to thank the Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated, and Sigma Gamma Rho Incorporated for their support at George Washington School during that month, and probably outside that month as well. And then Duo Dance Studio show teams, and then our very own Luisa Santos for her spoken word performance, and Trustee Andrea Jordan for sharing about community leadership. So thank you.
I was going to bring up the spelling bee, and Trustee Rashba did. That was my first event, and after being new to the board, and it was really nice to see. And I think one thing I want to share that we saw is these students didn't know each other, but their display of camaraderie and support for one another, even after missing a word and then celebrating another person getting the word. It was really cool to see at that age and at that level, and even though they were in direct competition with one another, what came out of that was fist bumps, handshakes, and a lot of smiles and congratulatory feelings towards one another. So really loved to see that.
I echo my fellow board trustees' sentiments. So on top of the spelling bee, I also got to attend the district Little Chefs competition, which was hosted at Susan B. Anthony. That's a really cool little thing that we do for our elementary school students, which hopefully we are going to be bringing, hopefully, to our middle school students in the future. That's something I'm really pushing for. We'd love seeing, giving our students these real life career experiences. In school, so they can see, even if they don't like it or don't do well, that's still learning. Whether you do it right or not, we all, if you want to change careers, you always can. These kids teach us a lot. So that was one. And then thank you to Trustee Rashba for running the last 2 meetings for me. I've been out a little while, but I'm here now. But I've been watching the meetings, and I said, you were doing a fantastic job for first and second time. So thank you for doing that for me. And then I wanted to actually comment on what you said about contacting your representatives. So in my own work outside of this, I work in work-based learning, which is secondary high school work, but career exploration for high school students. And one of the big things is contact your reps. So one of the things that they taught us, we actually met with the deputy superintendent of education at the state level, and these elected representatives, they represent everything from business to marketing. They represent a lot of things, but they don't all know education as well. They need our voices to inform them on how we want them to vote. That also influences whether we revote them or not. So tell them how you feel, tell them what you want them to vote, because they don't know everything, just like we don't know everything. So, and then with that, we'll pass it to Superintendent McCulloch for superintendent comments.
Great, yeah, this is March, it's spring, it's a busy time of year, so I do have a lot to share, but first I want to thank George Washington and Susan B. Anthony, fantastic presentations. I really just love hearing student voice, and I appreciate all the teachers here that are supporting them as well, and thank you, Principal Buckley and Principal Hannon for leading the charge. I also was at the spelling bee. Anonymity was the winning word. 8th grader from TRP was the winner, and we'll be celebrating them at the next meeting. Fiona Hansen, Vice Principal at Ben Franklin, and Brian Bethel, MHT Principal, were co-facilitators of that event, so I want to thank them and Ben Franklin for hosting. The Future Chefs competition was also last week, and we actually have last year's winner here in the audience, and she was a judge along with President Suji Saka, so it's nice to see her there. And then Caitlin Busey is part from Sodexo, and she helped lead the charge, and all of the food service staff that assisted our future chefs. It was just a wonderful to see. An MH Tobias winner. It was a crazy sushi something.
Crazy sushi tuna roll. I think it
Yes,
was.
yes. So we're excited that this is something that has been a regular occurrence in our district. I also want to acknowledge our county, San Mateo County Superintendent Nancy McGee. She retired last month. I'm actually going to a retirement celebration tomorrow. She retired. There is an interim superintendent that was appointed by the county office, Marco Chavez. He'll be finishing out her term, but there will be an election in November for the next. It's an elected position, county superintendent. So there'll be an election in November. So I wanted just to thank Ms. McGee for her years of service. She has been an advocate for safe schools, and so we really appreciate all the work she has done. Next Wednesday is our next and final Budget Facilities Superintendent Advisory Committee. I mentioned it in my last newsletter. This committee is coming to the point of recommendation and guidance for me, and I will be sharing that with the board. They've been looking at 4 considerations due to our budget situation. And so one is to reduce expenditures. We've been looking at contracted services and other services to see how we can reduce. We're also looking at adjusting staffing to match our current enrollment, because we have continued to decline in enrollment. We also learned about the process for considering closing schools or consolidating schools. And so that's something that the committee is considering to recommend a committee next year to look at that more deeply. And the last thing is to increase revenue. And so one thing I wanted to point out to families especially is you can help with that. The best way for us to increase revenue is to send your children to school every day. Our schools get funding based on attendance. And so when your children are here every day, that increases the funding for our schools. So we just really want to encourage everyone to send your children to school every single day. Just as we saw with Susan B. Anthony, that is making a huge impact. Just even 100 students increasing their attendance could increase our average daily attendance rate by 2%, which is almost $1.2 million we can get more for our district every year. So I just really wanted to emphasize that. Of course, we can get other ways of grants, but that's the best way that we can increase our funding, is having you bring your child to school every single day. So we appreciate your support in those efforts. I just want to also remind everyone that spring break is coming up. So next week, April 6th through the 10th, there is no school. The district office will be open for the first 3 days, but on that Thursday, Friday, the district office will be closed. So I hope everyone enjoys their spring break. So thank you.
All right, we're going to take a pause if you need to go home. We know it is very late and you have young kids, so please, if you'd like to stay, you're also welcome to stay. We're going to give you a brief moment to do that. We'll give them about 10, 15 more seconds. Bye, good, thank you. See ya, Mia. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you. All right. So we are going to continue on to item 6C, persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. We will display the 2-minute timer on the screen. If the timer ends, I will stop you if you go over. If the timer ends, I will stop you if you go over. As a reminder, the board may not discuss or comment on any items not listed on this agenda or expressed during communications public comment. We want you to know that we will hear you, and we will ask Superintendent McCulloch to follow up on your comments. Please make sure to leave your name and contact information with Ms. Covere so our administration knows how to reach you. Are there any more public comments? Okay, we have these, okay. We do have 2 public speakers, so our first speaker will be Billy Tournay, teacher at FRS. So then also speaking will be Valerie Nikora, teacher at FRS. Yeah.
Many of the tenured teachers at Fernando Rivera stand united in addressing the board today about recent concerns regarding the administration decisions, comments, and actions surrounding the 2026-27 teaching assignments. Our concerns are summarized as the following: reshuffling teachers and assigning them outside of the scope of their experience, credentialing, background, and areas of interest and strength. Release specialized qualified teachers who represent our community and have consistently received satisfactory reviews. A dismantling of our recently acclaimed ethnic studies program. In one-on-one meetings, feedback from admin is judgmental, unclear, and critical without being constructive. Since 2023, Fernando Rivera has been in a state of disarray. A staggering number of qualified long-term staff have left our school, with more anticipated to leave this year. Teachers have cited numerous reasons for leaving, including concerns about student and staff safety on campus, lack of leadership, lack of accountability, poor communication, a climate of retaliation, and overall low morale. Many of those who have left or are planning to leave were/are long-term established educators at our site who contributed to the many accolades Fernando Rivera has received, including 2 California Distinguished School Awards, multiple Kent Awards, No One Eats Alone Awards, and 2 features on the news. Many of these awards were granted due to the dedicated staff members who applied for them, in addition to grant writing, which resulted in over $35,000 to fund programs and provide robust curricular activities for our students. We are known for our thriving school-wide celebrations, including Fiesta de Colores, a celebration of culture. Students and family consistently remark on the high quality of education we provide and welcomed and loved they feel by teachers and staff. We commonly refer to ourselves as the Fernando family, and you can see some of our previous colleagues are in attendance tonight in support of our school.
We have gone through the appropriate channels to raise awareness about issues at our school. Numerous attempts at amelioration have been made each year, including whole staff meetings, multiple meetings with the union president, weekly admin union check-ins, data collection, and restorative conversations. We are compelled to share these concerns tonight with hopes we can find solutions before more qualified teachers leave our school and staff morale deteriorates further. Under every previous administration, the creation of a master schedule was done by committee and used to be a collaboration between teachers and administrators. Teachers were surveyed annually, and their input was considered as a driving factor in master schedule decision-making. Now it is the sole purview of administration. Our former collaborative system ensured that teachers were bringing their wealth of knowledge and experience to the classroom. Teacher input should be important and valued. When teachers lose their agency over what they teach, students lose meaningful, authentic experiences in the classroom. We project that many of the proposed teaching assignments will result in a loss of authenticity and genuine connection between students and teachers, and the material they are expected to learn, which will negatively impact educational outcomes. We ask the school board to take a close look at the importance of effective leadership and the impact of staff morale and positive culture and climate on our school. And it is my hope that this evening you truly hear us and you see our family that is here tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next public comment is Anushka, teacher.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anushka Takla. I'm a teacher at MH Tobias and also the AFT vice president. I want to just address something we heard tonight about equity. The language we use to describe events or circumstances within our schools or school system can indicate implicit biases. When our staff members present their concerns to the board, they are not complaining. The union has advised educators to address concerns through proper procedures as agreed upon by our labor and management collaboration, and therefore you can be assured that the issues being presented to the board have already been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Covray, are there any other public comments? Thank you. With that, we will move on to item 7, consent agenda. The administration recommends approval of the following consent agenda items. If there are any items to be removed or any amendments, otherwise I will entertain a motion. I think Trustee Rashba, sorry.
Yeah, I will ask to remove item 7CD from the consent agenda on Sodexo.
All right, item 7CD. Are there any other items to be removed? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion. All right, then.
Motion to approve with the amendment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote. Sarah, resolutions. Ms. Covray, please.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Mr. Rashba,
Aye.
Mr. Ali,
Aye.
Ms. Policarpio,
Aye.
Mr. Sujisaka.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, with that, then we move on to item 7CD. Contract extension with Sodexo for consulting management service of food service operations. Give me 1 second here. The administration recommends approval for the annual contract extension with Sodexo in the amount of $1,708,876 for consulting management services of the district's food service operations for the 2026-27 school year.
Yeah, so this is a big budget item, and I wanted to, and it's something about which I've heard mixed feedback over the years about our lunch, our breakfasts, our snacks that are offered, within the district. Last year we had a presentation by Ms. King, our food service director, by Sodexo folks came in, and I thought it was a very good presentation. What I heard is that there was a commitment to more freshly produced meals on site. There was a commitment to incorporate student voice and choice into our meal program, and so I wanted to just ask a member of the administration to speak to how is it going so far a year after approving that contract.
Yes, so Sodexo has been making some big strides and our food service department in making sure that we have fresher foods. And so there's a lot more fresh made, non-prepackaged meals, including chicken pho, tikka masala, vegan dumplings with fried rice, Hawaiian chicken, sweet Thai chili chicken, fresh made tuna sandwiches, bean and cheese pupusas. And so these are expanded, healthy and diverse choices. You also recently, I think at the last meeting, approved new tilt skillets for the central kitchen, which allow for expanded fresh cooked meal options, such as fresh macaroni and cheese that currently we're using bagged frozen product, and so now it can be fresh. And then a variety of savory sauces. It can cook different breakfast items, cook and saute different rice stir fries, and saute pre-cooked chicken products with various sauces. We've also vetted to vet new recipes. They host taste testing events. They call it Like It, Love It, or Leave It. I believe Ms. Martinez shared that at the last time. That helps identify which items that are new should be added to the menu. And then also the Caesar chicken salad is very popular, and it used to be a prepackaged lettuce, and now they do the whole head of romaine lettuce and they chop it up so it's fresher lettuce as well. And then they also have fresh made dressings. The elementary sites are a bit limited because they're really just warming sites. We don't have full kitchens in our elementaries, so that does limit to just preheating prepackaged, and so that is a bit of a shortfall with what we can provide. There's a lot of limitations there. And then the Sodexo contract includes the food and beverage products and disposable products cleaning supplies. We have 2 Sodexo staff, so that's their salary and wages. They do food ordering, production delivery, invoice payment systems, marketing, promotions, signage and materials, and then also the licensing fees for NutriSlice and then Link. Those are all the apps for doing the meal application. And just a reminder, this is funded through, it's not funded through the general fund. There is a separate fund for food service, and it is completely self-reliant, and so it's called Fund 13, and so it doesn't require any encroachment of the general fund. So I think that's everything that I captured. Anything that I missed, let me know. And we do have Caitlin here that can answer any
I didn't know she
specific
wanted to be
questions.
recognized,
Do
so
you
I
have
didn't
anything?
point her out in the background, but hi.
We want to thank her
Anyway.
for the future chefs as well.
All right, so if there's any other comment on or question on that item, otherwise I'll entertain a motion.
I just want to thank you for the response. You know, this is, as mentioned, a big contract. We have been with Sodexo for a while, and I do want to make sure that they are earning our business. But I'm really glad for the improvements that have been made. It's impressive to hear the array of food that is offered and the incorporation of students into it. Makes me very happy. Very small sample size, but I will say I have heard less mixed feedback about our meal programs this year. So unless there are any other comments from my fellow trustees, I'll make a motion.
I have a
Please.
question. Okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on a second. Excuse me. I kind of forgot the question now.
No worries.
Okay, Fund 13, actually. Is there anything that we need to do to protect Fund 13, or how's the? I know you said it's fully, it's funding itself now. I know that took some work to get to that point. But how healthy is it, and is there anything that we need to do to either protect it or to help monitor it?
So just to be clear, Fund 13 is the universal meals, if I'm not mistaken. So it's state funded. It's not a reserve of ours. So it's a direct funding source from the state, and whatever we receive, we're able to completely spend in the program, Sodexo being one of those programs. And so we don't overspend what the state gives us. Is there anything you want to add, or did I miss anything?
No, that's correct. And the last couple of years, there's been a surplus. And so we're actually working on a budget plan to spend down that surplus.
Okay, that's kind of why I was asking, because I know it's state funded, but there were times where we were supplementing it from the general fund. So I guess I'm just asking, so we don't have to worry about that for a while, or what's the outlook?
The outlook is good. We don't have to worry about it. Again, there's a little bit of a surplus, and so we're monitoring our expenditures to make sure that we don't exceed the revenues, and we aren't.
Thank you.
I know I brought up the size of the contract multiple times, and these are very tight budgetary times, but I do want to make clear that my main concern would be, as a parent of kids in the district, the nutritional quality, the value of the meals, and it sounds like we have made some good improvements, and that things are going well this year. So, yeah.
All right, there is still a motion on the table, so I don't know if there is a
Second.
There's a motion and a second, so all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congrats, Sodexo. All right, we move on to item 8A, resolution number 260325B, National Library Week and National Librarian Day. The administration recommends adoption of resolution number 260325B, recognizing April 19th, 2026 as National Library Week and April 16th, 2026 as National Librarian Day. Do you have anything to say on it?
No, we just, Yes.
Yeah. I was saying,
We
don't
just
have the
appreciate
resolution.
we have 2 district librarians and we have a library assistant at every school. And we appreciate all of their hard work to make sure our students have the books that they need and the resources and their enthusiasm towards reading and literacy. So I'm happy to celebrate them.
Thank you. All right, this is a roll call vote, so I need a motion before if this is going to go forward.
I move that.
Motion
Second.
to approve.
There's a motion.
Second.
And I have a second. So Ms. Kilbray, could you do roll call vote, please?
Ms. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Rashba?
Aye.
Mr. Ali?
Aye.
Ms. Policarpio?
Aye.
Mr. Sujisaka?
Aye. That passes unanimously. Congratulations. All right, item 6A8B, resolution number 260325C, classified Administrative Professionals Day. The administration recommends the adoption of resolution number 260325C, recognizing April 22nd of 2026 as classified Administrative Professionals Day.
Yes, so I also want to celebrate our administrative professionals. We have one sitting right next to me right here. And so it also happens to be a board meeting night, so you'll be able to celebrate on that day. Unfortunately, she will have to work that evening. But all of our administrative professionals at our school sites and at our district office, so we want to make sure that we celebrate them. And so I recommend that we approve this resolution.
Excellent. All right, are there any comments or questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Ms. Kilbray, once again, please.
Ms. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Rashba?
Aye.
Mr. Ali?
Aye.
Ms. Policarpio?
Aye.
Mr. Sujisaka?
Aye. That passes unanimously. Congratulations, classified administrative professionals. All right, we move on to item 9A, certificated retirements 2526. The administration recommends approval of the following retirement requests and requests an appropriate resolution be prepared, commending them for their years of service with the district. Pamela Radke, third grade teacher at MP Brown, effective June 6th of 2026. Ms. Radke has been employed with the district since July 1st of 2005. And Lynn Cox, PE teacher at Garden Village and Westlake. Okay, go. And effective on June 6th, 2026. Ms. Cox had been employed with district since August 19th of 2016. If there are any comments or questions, otherwise I'll entertain a motion.
I just thank you for Ms. Radke for 20 years, and then Cox for almost 10 years. Thanks for your service. And I'd like us to approve these retirements.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so we have a motion and a second. That's a voice vote. So all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Radke and Ms. Cox. All right, item 10A, retirement of classified personnel. The administration recommends approval of the retirement request from the following classified employee and requests an appropriate resolution to prepare commending her for her years of service with the district. Aura Ocampo, instructional assistant, PE at SBA, date of hire October 14th, 1996, effective June 5th of 2026. That is 30 years. All right, are there any comments or questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Would like to thank Ms. Ocampo for her many years of service, and I motion to approve the retirement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Ocampo. All right, item 11A, governance handbook updates. The governing board will review revisions to the governing handbook based on discussion during the January 31st, 2026 government workshop. Superintendent Kulik.
Yes, so in front of you, you should have a printed copy. It's also attached to the agenda, and hopefully you had a chance to review. This is the redlined copy of the corrections or adjustments that were suggested during the January 31st session. Unfortunately, I was ill that day, so I wasn't there to hear it all myself. I did see the notes from it, so hopefully I captured everything. So today, what I'm asking is that you take a look at the red lines and tell me if I missed anything. And then I want to highlight just two things. One is I'm going to suggest that we don't label the governance handbook as a year, we just put it as revised, because I heard there was comments that this should be a handbook really designated for new trustees and a reference for continuing trustees, and so that it doesn't have to be updated every year, but we just notate when was the last revision, so that we change kind of the front, and that we can keep the Board of Trustees as is. Maybe we don't say president, vice president, we just name them in alphabetical order, because that changes every year. And then once a new board member, if a new board member comes in, at some point there will be, that's when maybe we revise it. So that's one suggestion I'm making, but it's up to you. The other one that I wanted us to take a look at, I'll get to that one in a second, but if you turn to page 18, it's the signature page. You'll notice it is all crossed out for the same reason as the front. We don't really need to have it signed. This is just a guide. It's not necessary to have a signature page, so I'm suggesting that we remove that. The other thing, and this is more of the discussion, is I understand that you were discussing the unity of purpose on page 6, and that you wanted to revise and rewrite, but there were no suggestions yet as to what that would look like. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to have a discussion about that. Maybe there's certain ones you want to cross out, or you want to rewrite the whole thing. If you note in the back, in the appendix, Appendix C has previous boards' unity of purpose. There's multiple ones. So you can see all the different iterations of unity of purpose from different boards. This one was developed, I believe, in my first year as superintendent. And so it's really up to you what you would like as why you do the work you do. So what do you hope to accomplish as a team? And that includes me as part of the governance team. This is a governance handbook. We can have that discussion together. We can discuss it now, or we can have you look at it, send it to me, and I can bring back a draft at a later meeting. So tonight is discussion and action if you have some guidance for me, or it can just be discussion. So I'll leave it up to you to discuss.
Excellent. Thank you, Superintendent McCulick. I open it up to the rest of the board. If there are any comments or questions or amendments or anything else on the unity of purpose or any other place, if we want to start another place.
I think I remember we said that we wanted to chip away at this because we just didn't have enough time during our board retreat. And so I guess my recommendation is that, I know we had scheduled 20 minutes for this. If we want to go through the unity of purpose here, I know we said that we wanted to do this beforehand and then come back and just be ready for what we wanted to be changed. So I guess first question is, did we all do that? And if not, do we want more time to adjust it? Because if we're doing it here on the spot, is that going to take more time than maybe we wanted it to? And then I think the second part of this is if we can, after we decide upon that, is maybe give direction to Superintendent McCulick on what we want to tackle next within the handbook. Just because if we try to do it all, I don't think we would have enough time, and we wouldn't really be able to give as much thought as I think we should.
Speak.
I'll say I feel optimistic that we could take on the unity of purpose tonight. I also just want to say that I love that we have the previous unity of purposes as an appendix, and even though it doesn't seem particularly relevant, it's just interesting to see what the board was thinking at different times as our purpose.
I think if I remember our discussion, we didn't want to it's not that we wanted to change every single thing on here. I think it was, I don't remember which parts because this was 3 months ago, or maybe 2 months ago, but I think I'd be willing, we could give it some time and try to change it here. And if the discussion gets too robust, then maybe we could call it then and then do Trustee Jordan's idea. Do we want to take an attempt to go through it? What do we think?
Only thing I want to say is that I agree that we wanted to just, it's wordy, and we wanted to just whittle it down. So I'm already striking things. So.
Okay. So then, do we want to give everybody everybody here, a couple minutes to read through it and do some notes, and then we'll come back in 3 minutes enough? Or is that too short? That's enough for me. Okay. So then we'll give 3 minutes just to focus on this, and then we'll come back in 3 minutes. "30 seconds and then pencils down. I'll be grading this." We're kidding. All right, so does anyone need more time? This is not a timed activity, so we want to take our time and diligence on it. So if anyone needs more time, or if you'd like to work while we're discussing other ones, that's also okay. Does anyone need more time? Okay, so then we can start on the first one, and since I counted there are 6, maybe to give each person a voice, and I don't know, I don't know if anyone has a strong opinion on it. I was gonna go as like one board member to say like what they recommend for each one, and then we'll kind of go around on each one. Does that sound good? Any alternative processes? Yeah, so, well, I don't know if that's necessarily a change, but it's just for our process, yeah. So the first one, I will start with Trustee Ali, if that's all right. And just like you read out what your amendment is, and then we can kind of then have a discussion on if anyone had something different, or maybe we all agreed, who knows?
Okay. So it says establish and achieve clear goals, direction, and policies that set our district, community, students, staff, and families, regardless of their backgrounds or circumstance, for success through equitable access to a high-quality education. So I was thinking we could just cut out from community to circumstance. So we just say establish and achieve clear goals, direction, and policies that set our district, I guess we could say set our district up for success through equitable access to a high-quality education.
I pretty much did the same thing, because I said when it says equitable, I think it covers everyone in the community. So I felt like it was a bit redundant with some of the words there.
I like the spirit of this bullet, and I support the changes proposed by trustees Ali and Jordan.
Yeah, I did. I did the same. I think I striked and achieve, because I think part of what we talked about was what are we to do, or we are not achieving the goals, but we are establishing the goals. And so I remember that being part of our conversation is some of these things we're not set to do, we're not doing these things, but we are putting it forth. So my edit is establish clear goals, direction, and policies that set up our district. I mean, I like that you actually took out community there because it is redundant. That set our district up, adding the word up, for success through equitable access to a high quality education.
And then I originally kept in regardless of background or circumstance, but then as Trustee Jordan pointed out, we have equitable written in there, which is redundant, so we can take that out. I do agree with all the changes proposed. Does everybody, any other amendments? So now what we have is establish clear goals, direction, and policy that set our district community up for success through equitable access to high-quality education.
I think we've said community was also removed, so district covers
District
all.
up, okay.
May I, so I have it edited on my computer here, so if I had the up in a different spot, so I want to see if I have established clear goals, direction, and policies that set up our district for success through equitable access to a high-quality education.
Yes.
Is that, okay.
All right, so then the first one, that sounds good. All right, so we'll move on to number 2, which is start with develop. I guess we'll just go down this way, so I guess I'll start this one. So I have developed a cohesive understanding of the district's resources budget. I crossed out resources to ensure fiscal responsibility in order to provide, I crossed out budget, not resources. In order to provide an excellent public education for each and every student, and then I crossed out everything after that. So I crossed out, we will use those resources efficiently and effectively to support our students.
Same comments. I like this bullet, and I support the changes that President Tsujisaka proposed.
I think the only thing that I changed, I did also strike out the we will use, but I think I also striked out for each and every student and then just put all.
All students or just all?
All students, but.
Got it.
Because I think each and every is too many words, all is the same thing.
Yeah, understood. Trustee Policarpio, or Trustee Ali, any comments?
I also agree with striking that second sentence, but to keep it in brevity is also just, I ended it at ensure fiscal responsibility. I think ensuring fiscal responsibility kind of alludes to us being able to provide all of it without it being an extra mouthful. So mine ended at responsibility.
And I agree with everything that's been said, but I actually started striking from the beginning. Develop a cohesive understanding of the district's resources budget too. And I just started from ensure fiscal responsibility.
Oh, so you just have ensure fiscal responsibility?
Yep, I started from there.
Would that be all that we're left with? Ensure
That's
No,
what I'm saying,
ensure fiscal responsibility to provide an excellent public education, and I like the all, for all students. And then that was it.
I do like developing a cohesive understanding for people like me who just have no idea and have zero understanding. And so it is for new trustees to our benefit, take the time to develop what that understanding is, just because I don't have the years under my belt.
So I'd like to echo some of that, but then maybe, and now I'm skipping bullets here. There's a bullet at the end that says hold each other accountable for our collective learning and success. And I'm wondering if we keep that bullet focused on fiscal responsibility, then maybe we update that last bullet to talk through holding each other accountable for learning and understanding all of the things that we need to, which is the resources in the budget, which is some of the things that the Masters in Governance requires us to go through. And that would, and again, I'm fine with it either way, but because of that last bullet, I was wondering, well, that last bullet is kind of saying there are certain things that we need to know as a board, and maybe we keep that as one part, and then everything else is more like outward on how we, like fiscal responsibility is a given. But again, I'm open to either option.
I actually crossed out the last bullet.
I like that, and even making the last bullet the first bullet.
So if we want to jump to the last bullet, that's really the only one that I had major changes in. And to me, this is speaking more to a spirit of continuous improvement within our district, always trying to make our schools achieve their very best. And I'm not sure if I see holding each other accountable as the main thing that we need to do as a body. I see it as more working together to keep improving our schools.
I agree. I struck that one out too because I think I should hold myself accountable, and that's not up to you that I know these things. If that is up to you, then I'm not in the right place because I am not holding myself accountable. So I think the reason I struck that is because I need to do that myself. Like, you cannot hold my hand through all of this. And if in 2 years from now I'm still crying new, then you have to be, that's a me thing, not a you thing. So going back to the bullet number 2, I think then if we keep it with, ensure fiscal responsibility to provide an excellent public education for all students, it's short, to the point, and I feel like encompasses what we need to do.
Well, I guess to question you, because I think originally you said you wanted to keep the develop a cohesive understanding, but honestly, after you all have made statements, I'm wondering, well, how can we make sure we develop a cohesive understanding? I don't know if we can. It's similar to, like, we can't hold each other accountable. Like, we can hope. So so do you still feel like you need that first part?
No, now
Okay.
just after I said that I need to hold myself accountable, like, that's not up to you for me to develop. I need to ask the questions in the situations that I need to do that myself. I think as a board together, what we need to do is ensure fiscal responsibility.
I agree with that.
Okay, so is the current version ensure fiscal responsibility to provide an excellent public education for all students?
Yes.
I have that as well.
Cool, sounds good. All right, bullet point 2. Any other last comments on bullet point 2? Otherwise, we'll move to bullet point 3, and this time we'll start with Vice President Roshba.
No comments.
Does anyone have any comments on this one?
I think I did for the same thing with and achieve, like the create, like, I don't know if that's something for us to create, but it can be for us to maintain. So my strikeout was maintain a safe, supportive environment.
Wait, sorry, so you're
Striking out the create and, because I don't know that that's something that we can
sorry,
create.
I thought I heard you say cross out, maintain a safe and supportive environment. That's why I was concerned about that one. So,
I think we should maintain that.
no, okay, thank you. Okay, so does anyone have any other comments besides
Yes.
cross out or anything argue against it?
Yeah, so I agree with the change and create. I was thinking about maybe foster, but even just taking it out is fine. And then I had actually struck the last part within the district. Well, I took out that part within the district and just kept in based on honesty and transparency. And then I struck the rest, where all stakeholders feel comfortable to interact with each other. I don't think that's our unity of purpose.
Well, also, I think it's also, if we go to Jefferson Union High School, are we still gonna be,
Exactly.
just within the district does imply certain things. I know what you mean. Trustee Jordan, did you have anything you wanted to?
I agree to do the maintain a safe and supportive environment. I don't think we need to say within the district, and I also don't think we need to say where all the stakeholders feel. I was actually going to scratch off honesty and transparency because I feel like, well, what is a safe and supportive environment? Do we need to call out honesty and transparency? Isn't it a safe and supportive environment one in which honesty and transparency is a part of it. So I feel like that was somewhat redundant as well.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if when this, well, I guess this was actually when 4/5 of us made this. I know half of those were new. So Trustee Rashba and I were new. And I wonder if, yeah, we felt like we needed to specify things due to, again, like things that prior boards have done in the past. So now that we have this understanding of where we are now, where we are as a board, I now feel, I think at the time I was wanting to keep it in, but now I think I'm in a comfortable place where I think we can take out based on honesty and transparency, because hopefully that's implied in a safe, as so Trustee Jordan said, in a safe, supportive environment.
So is it maintain a safe, supportive environment where all stakeholders feel comfortable to interact with each other?
Oh, I only
No.
have maintain a safe, supportive environment.
No,
Yeah,
sorry, what
that's what I
Trustee
have.
Rushba had was what I had. Is that,
Oh.
so we want to take out, which
Yeah,
part?
I had taken out everything after environment.
So just maintain a safe and supportive environment.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so then,
Is
Superintendent
that
McCullough.
agreed upon by everyone?
I feel like that is a little, taking out a little too much. I just think that if it's too short, it maybe loses a little bit of an anchor. I would feel comfortable with either maintain a safe, supportive environment, like what I said, or maintain a safe, supportive environment within the district.
Okay. Yeah, I would be open to within the district, or either just say for all stakeholders. But I think it's too wordy, and I want to remember this so I can apply it. So if we're saying stakeholders feel comfortable to interact, that's a little
I
wordy.
think for all stakeholders, because again, whenever you say within the district, it does imply just JESD, but we interact with a lot more than just JESD. So I like whenever we say all stakeholders, because Jefferson Union are stakeholders in our schools too. They just aren't directly part of our district.
Yeah, so I like the idea of maintain a safe, supportive environment for all stakeholders.
All right, is everyone in agreement? Any last comments on this one?
I like that.
All right, Superintendent McCullough, did you catch that one?
I have maintain a safe, supportive environment for all stakeholders. Is that correct?
Do you want to do safe, this is such a grammatical thing, safe and supportive, and take out that comma?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we move on to number 4. And Trustee Jordan, we'll start off with you. This is the one that says demonstrate.
Yeah, I just put demonstrate community leadership in and out of board meetings and struck out everything else.
I put a question mark for someone to explain what this would look like or mean to. Like, what is, give me an example of how somebody like me would be able to do this in and out of board meetings. Is it going to the spelling bees and being able to show that I am present? Like, what would this look like?
My definition of it would be that regardless of where I am, if I'm in the grocery store, if I'm at a school site, if I'm at a board meeting, if I'm getting my car washed, I am a representative of this board, and so I need to make sure that I'm showing up as a leader at all times, regardless of where I'm at.
Follow-up question. How would I demonstrate that while grocery shopping and getting my car washed versus me just grocery shopping or getting my car washed?
Did you want to respond to that?
can
Because
chime in.
I've had the experience, so I can say, for me, I've had people come up to me in the grocery store because they knew that I was a board member and they wanted to talk to me and ask questions. And so I had to make sure that I presented well and let them know what they should or should not do. If that makes any sense, but Trustee Ali, if you want to.
I mean, the only thing I would add to it is really just the remembrance, just knowing that even though you might look at yourself as, oh, I'm just the mom right now getting groceries, they're looking at you as the school board member. So at all times, we just have to kind of, it's like almost like being an entertainer that always is in character. You know, they're never showing their true personal self because they have to. Anyway, it's just a remembrance that no matter how you look at yourself, they're always looking at you as, you know, being up here at this table. So
I think it's being mindful of what you say and do, because you do represent the board even out in public, whether you mean to or not represent the board at that time, that people that know you as a board member, they see you as a board member, so what you say and do matters.
Okay, that's helpful. And then I just think this sentence has a lot of words in it, and we can just end it at board meetings, because I think the rest of it is pretty straightforward with, as a board member, then yes, parents, teachers, administrators, other stakeholders to make sure the school's the best. Like, that's why I'm sitting here. So I just feel like we could just end it at board meetings.
All right, so then do we? Oh, yeah,
I don't want to prolong this, but I had actually just stopped at leadership.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm a little more wordy than you, but I do like cutting it off in and out of board meetings, and for me that I do think that's an important distinction. Just that building on what's been said, that at all times we do represent this board and the schools, and we should remember that. To me, that is still brief.
I like it at that point too, because I need to remember that it's also out of board meetings, because I think, as you can tell from my mindset, I'm like, I'm just grocery shopping, like, what do you want me to do? But that is a reminder to me that it's not just here, and it gives me that like visual reminder that it's.
I think that question that you gave actually made me rethink it, and I was like, well, why did I say that? And I was like, well, I have been approached. I actually, as an example, I've gone to my daughter's school just to be a parent, and they were like, trustee, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to be a parent, and I was like, okay, nope, I gotta be a trustee. And so for me, that was a turning point in me understanding, like, oh wow, I guess I am a community leader, and even if I'm having a bad day, or I just have to show up. So fun times.
I did see your daughter at school though, and so I was like,
Don't be one of those celebrities that ends up in the news.
Okay, no, that's helpful. So thank you for, I mean, again, I'm going to ask the questions because I don't know, and I don't know until I know. But first, I think I'd like the reminder that it's in and out of board meetings.
Yeah, and I just
I
want to
agree.
remember that the audience we were saying is for new board members, so being more explicit, I think, is better for this one in particular.
Let's
More
cross
explicit
everything out
without
and put
too wordy.
Leadership.
So demonstrate community leadership in and out of board meetings. Is that what's agreed upon?
Yes. All right, cool. So we struck out everything after board meetings, and yeah. All right, and we move on to number 5, which is in an ever-changing world, and we'll start out with Trustee Policarpio.
I think there's a theme of this just being mouthfuls, and so in an ever-changing world is kind of given the world is always changing. And then the word with create a future, I don't think we can create that future, so it's strive for or encourage. And I don't think it's a future, maybe it's an environment, because we can't create or maintain or do anything without the future, but we can have impact on the environment that we put forth. So maybe it's in strive for an environment in which all students feel that their lives have been bettered through our public schools.
Trustee Ali? Yeah. What do we think? Any other comments? All right, we like it. Did you catch that?
Well,
sorry.
well,
sorry. I didn't.
Our public schools sounds weird to me for some weird reason, because I know we're talking about our district, but when it says our public schools, it just sounds beyond for some weird reason for me, and I don't know if anyone feels that way either. So I don't know what to say. I also don't know if I like the word bettered. But I'm not really, so I agree, it should be more like foster an environment in which all students are, create an environment in which all students feel that their lives have been
Improved.
improved.
Enriched.
Enriched, I think enriched is
Enriched.
enriched, because who's to say what
Yeah.
improved
And
is?
then,
That's
and then
why-
if we
that's why I
say
changed the
that,
word too.
then do we need our public schools? Because the only way that they would be enriched is if they are attending one of our schools.
That's true, because we only control.
And we can only
schools.
impact public
Yeah.
schools that we are,
That we are, yes,
that
exactly.
that this board is responsible
Correct.
for.
I would actually think to just specifically say enrich through the JES, the Jefferson Elementary School District. I kind of liked public schools, just that people can, we can remember that we are part of this system and, part of public education. And I liked that, but I do hear your concern that saying all public schools, our jurisdiction is here in these public schools, so maybe it's just through the JESD public schooals.
I too did not strike out our public schools. Again, I kind of agree with that. I like that, because again, we are a public school district, and I think there is something about that reminder of, because, they do have other options. They have charter school, they have private school, but we want to say, I think kind of saying our public schools kind of says, this is where, not that any of those other choices are anything else, but these are our public schools. I don't know if anyone has any strong hesitation to that, but I agree with Trustee Rashba.
So I've heard a lot of different verbs to start it. So I wrote down strive. So tell me, I hope I captured this one. So strive for an environment in which all students feel that their lives have been enriched through our JESD public schools.
I think we're just gonna, or at least I think that we were saying just keep it at our public schools, or do we want to say JESD public schools? That seems a little wordy too.
I like the idea of the JSD if we have to keep the public schools, specifically because there's more than us that have public schools in this area. And so when we say our public schools, for someone like a parent that has children in multiple schools, what does that mean to them?
But a board trustee who is joining our board, who this is meant for.
Okay, that's true.
That's the only reason I said the way I did. But yes, I
I like JESD.
JESD period, because JESD is public schools, right? Like, we don't have to say JESD public schools. There's no JESD private schools, right? Unless I'm wrong.
No, there are
Okay.
not. That's okay.
Right? Like,
it's okay. You're learning. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
And then we don't need to bold, underline all, because all is all. Whether you bold or underline it, like the word all means all. Yeah.
What do you think? Public schools in or out?
I can do through JESD. Period.
I personally like, I agree with JESD, but I really like keeping public schools in there. That's,
How about through our district's public schools?
Yeah.
that works for me. Yeah.
I will go with the majority. I prefer to remove public schools, but I understand.
All right, so Superintendent McCullough, can you read out what you have so far?
Yes, so I have, hold on, I'm capturing it. Strive for an environment in which all students feel that their lives have been enriched through our district's public schools. And we took out the bold in all and underline.
And then these are the tiny grammatical things. There's a double space between lives and have.
Yeah,
And then
I saw that
remove the
too.
underline
already
between
fixed-
have and been.
I already fixed it.
Good. I figured you did. I just wanted to make that clear.
And then number 6, we're striking completely. Is that
Well,
correct
that's
still?
what we were gonna, I think if we were in agreement with that, but I didn't think we were.
Yeah.
Did anyone have
strike.
anything for number 6? Because I think a couple of us said we struck it out completely. But did anyone have anything that they wanted to put forward? Go for it. Yeah.
I did. I don't feel that strongly about it, but I wrote, commit to a spirit of continuous improvement within the JESD, always striving to make our schools the best they can be. That's not very brief, but that's the sentiment that I felt from that last point.
I admire the tenacity.
I still feel like that is an individual thing rather than a team goal. I feel like individually, if we cannot do that, then, or if we don't already have that inherent, then that's, we shouldn't be sitting here. And so for me, like, that's just something that should be, like, I should wear shoes here, like, kind of sentiment.
The only thing I would say is if we moved it to the first bullet and just said something about commit to collective learning and success, or even just commit to collective learning. But I'm perfectly fine with striking it.
So, obviously I said that I liked that bullet down there, and it's specifically because when I was a new board member, I needed a lot of hand-holding when it came to the learning. And I will say that learning together has been helpful because some of the questions that you would ask, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So I think to me, I like the collective learning and the success because collectively we should be learning together and we should be succeeding together. But I do understand, again, I'm okay with the majority if we want to strike it out.
Well, no, I was saying collective learning, but striking out the holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So change it to cross out, hold each other accountable, and then commit to our collective learning. Commit to our collective learning.
And successes or just collective learning?
I'm okay with keeping success because, again, we learn and we succeed together.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
I will say there's one word I liked in yours, it was continuous improvement. I don't know if we want to throw that in there, that sounds a little long, but I did like what you said in yours, your reiteration of it.
So we want to remove success and say commit to collective learning and continued improvement. I like that too.
I like that, because successes.
We succeed, but just like when we get A's in our class, we always tell our students, well, what if you challenge yourself a little more?
Well, I think success is also, different people consider success differently. So what does success mean to you versus me? And so I like the continued improvement because it implies that we are striving for success.
I like it.
So I have commit to our collective learning and continuous improvement
Yes.
for number 6. Okay.
All right, sounds good. So then, with those changes, so we will need to make a motion on those. And then also, do we want to make a motion, or did anyone have anything on the red slashes? I don't have any comments on them. They seemed okay to me. They were captured from our meeting in January 31st. Yeah, any comments or questions on the red? Otherwise, we may be ready to make a motion on other things.
I personally support the red line changes. I also wanted to review the changes that Superintendent Mikulik mentioned, which eliminating the signature page, I support that. I support the, I think, alphabetical listing you said of the Board of Trustees, so.
And taking the date out of 2025 and just putting the last revised.
Yep, I support that too.
I support all of those. The only thing I wanted to say is for all of our unity of purposes, if we're planning on doing them as a board decides to update them, I would recommend, I know some of them we put years, I recommend that we always put the year to see when that unity of purpose was created.
Developed.
Or developed, yes, exactly.
Good idea.
All right, so if someone is going to motion, the current motion would be to approve the governance team handbook with the recommended, or with the changes in red and with the unity of purpose that Superintendent Mikulik has written in her draft. So if there's any comments or questions, otherwise I will entertain a motion. All right, so we have trustee Policarpio for a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, excellent. All right, so now we move on to item 12A, November 2025 CSBA Board Policy Updates, second reading, discussion / action. The board will review and revise board policies / administrative regulations / board bylaws from November 2025 CSBA Board Policy Updates as stated in a second reading. If there are any comments or questions, otherwise I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the November 2025 CSBA Board Policy Updates.
And I'll second. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, and that brings us to our final, final public item, or two public items. Governance team comment, member comments, reports, future agenda items, and board meeting reflection. And this time I will start on my left. Trustee Policarpio, I'm starting with you this time.
I don't have anything.
Cool, that's all right.
Just good work, especially this last part. It seemed a little meta, but I'm just glad that we're able to work together as a coherent team and keep our focus on the best interests of our students. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really good meeting. It was wonderful to see so many people in the room, particularly for the presentations from George Washington and Susan B. Anthony. I thought they were really exceptional, and yeah, great meeting. Thanks.
I want to say thank you to Principal Buckley for inviting me to George Washington to speak at the Black History Month celebration. I wasn't here at the last meeting, and so I actually, until Trustee Ali brought it up, I didn't think it was appropriate to bring it up because it was kind of a while ago, but it was so empowering, so beautiful to see the students, the families, the entire community, and the way that they showed up. So kudos to you and your team for all of the hard work in pulling that together, and then the PTA for the food. I don't eat meat, but my daughter had mine and hers, and she said it was great. So it was a really great event, and I'm excited to see what you do in future years. The other thing I wanted to do is thank the last people standing that are still in the meeting, and maybe make sure that my comments earlier with regards to, I think I said the word complaints, is not misconstrued. So to be clear, I've been on this board for 6 years. Most of the time that I am up here, we don't have people in the room. Most people don't come unless they're doing a presentation or they're talking about an issue or a complaint. And so my statement was really in line with, I want to see more people in the seats, listening to what we are approving, asking questions on it. Honestly, it's kind of like the news. If the news is always bad, then you stop watching it. If people come and make comments about things other than what's going wrong, it helps us know that we're going in the right direction. And so it's so grateful. I am so grateful for those that attend just to know what's going on, but also those that attend to tell us what they are doing to help collectively make our district better. And so I just wanted to make sure that my statements earlier are not misconstrued as negative, because I do understand that people should be coming to complain or bring up issues, but I would love to see it beyond that, is essentially what I was alluding to. And great meeting. Thank you.
I echo my fellow board trustee sentiments. Thank you to our very captive audience for staying for the whole meeting. We know you are partially required to, but we still appreciate you all staying anyway. All right, so we go to item 14, persons wishing to address the board on closed session items. Ms. Covray, are there any? Tell them to line up, please. We have a long night ahead of us. So this portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on an item that is addressed in closed session. The maximum time for any speaker allowed is usually 2 minutes. All right, and with that, sorry, give me 1 sec. There is an attachment. We move on to item 15, which will be a recess. But before we do that, we are going to take a moment of silence for Anne Mary Scardamaglia, mother of Annette Shreve, retired human resource specialist for certificated and mother-in-law of Denise Shreve, personnel commissioner. Moment of silence now. All right, we have 5-minute recess. We will convene at 8:57 in the closed session room. Thank you very much.